brought to you by our friends of the British Council. Hey everybody, Matt McCarthy back at Studio 34, the Fantasy Sports Network, with Rugby Wrap-Up and my co-host, Steve Lewis, today. Steve is not only our co-host and Elite Sevens coach, but he's also a member of Congress, and he is just back from Denver, where it was the NDS, the National Development Summit. Steve, give us the skinny on what happened out there.
The skinny, yeah. Yeah, so essentially it's the annual conference of the American game. So there's, on the sort of formal side, there's a series of presentations, technical presentations. It's a playing track, coaching track, admin track. There's some reasonable stuff goes on there, but in many ways it's the sidebar meetings, breakfast, lunch, dinners that are important or interesting.
The networking, so to speak.
Yeah, you're just keeping your pulse on, keeping your finger on the pulse of American rugby,
sure.
shall we say. Main things from the weekend, obviously there was the introduction of Gary Gold, who's a new USA men's 15s coach. He was there, he did 2 or 3 presentations. He came across as very accessible, very personable guy.
How big is he?
I don't know. I'm not on physical.
Is he 6'5"? Is he?
No. He's probably about 6 foot.
So what did he play, would you say?
I'm not sure.
Like
it looks like more sort of front row, maybe.
Yeah.
To me, or
Okay.
maybe a short back row.
How's the nose and ears and face?
That's he's very short in hair up top, but apart from that, he's all right.
Cauliflower ears?
He's understandable. He's one of those South Africans you can understand, so that's a good thing.
That's like 3, right? There's 3 of them?
Yeah, 2, 3 now probably.
2 of them with Tiger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, that was his introduction to the thing, and obviously he's got a job ahead, and he's right into it with this AR6 competition. So it's really an opportunity for him to get a handle on players.
America's Rugby Championship.
Yeah, and just get on with it. So that was a big thing. There was also a sort of, some would say refreshing. There was an emphasis on the women's game for this NDS. There was a great deal of presentations on the women's game, including some panels on their performance at the World Cup, as well as 3 of the keynote speakers being women. So there was a terrific segment with Gillian Potter, which is very inspirational.
How's she doing?
Great spirits, very impressive, very inspirational character.
She's an unbelievable person.
So she did a 20-minute Q&A that had some tears in the eyes and had everyone on their feet. A couple of ovations. So that was fantastic. Phaidra Knight was also acknowledged for her induction into the Hall of Fame, and she gave a short speech as well. She's looking more and more like a politician every time I hear her.
Yeah. We're watching you, Phaidra.
Yeah, we're watching you, Phaidra. So those were sort of the high points. But that's it, done and dusted for another year. And
so what do you think's going to come out of it?
Well, I think there's a great deal comes out of it. I think for a lot of people learn. A lot of people make contacts and network, as you say. So from that perspective, you always come back with a little something. Like, for instance, Greg McWilliams does a session an hour on offense, and even as a coach, relatively experienced coach, you always find 1 or 2 things from every session that you can take back. So whether you're a grassroots coach, whether you're an elite coach, wherever you stand in the whole thing, that's the benefit. You can always pick something up.
Sure.
You can always learn.
Yeah.
And I think the great thing about it is there's a lot of people operate in isolation, so they're out doing their club in a small town perhaps, and they're on their own Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and they feel isolated.
Yeah.
It's good to come in and realize that there is a larger community there, and you can actually touch and connect with that community.
Well, I regretted not being there.
You weren't missed.
I don't doubt that for a second, but we do have a networking event here in New York. Richard Sexton, Captain's Knock fame, Mark Griffin, Play Rugby USA, the Rugby Business Network guys with Peter Forsman, and yours truly are getting together, and we're going to just do an informal kick off the Six Nations little party on the 31st of January.
Don't tell me, the Pig and Whistle.
All right, I won't tell you. It's at the Pig and Whistle, West 36th Street. Informal. Come on down, join us in network, and we'll talk about who's going to win the Six Nations.
See you there.
See you there. And on that note, thank you, Stephen. You were resplendent today in your powder blue. And articulate as always.
Once a Glasgow boy, always a Glasgow boy.
You go Glasgow, you don't go back. And on that note, on behalf of Mr. Steve Lewis and our partners, of course, Friends of the British Council and lovescotch.com's Chris Cussiter. And on that note, we are done. But make sure you check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, the web, Instagram, Twitter. It's all out there to listen to or watch. RugbyWrapUp.com.